Welcome, everyone, to the PR Planner with Ben and Mike. I'm Ben Lewis, the Public Relations Director at FPA. And Mike, why don't you introduce yourself?
Mike Byrnes, owner of Byrnes Consulting, national speaker, and proud to be on the FPA Coaches Corner with in charge of business growth strategies. So thank you for having me, Ben. This is great.
Excellent, excellent. Well, this is a new video series that Mike and I have decided to do to help financial planners understand the nuances of public relations, which for many financial planners is a bit of an unknown subject. So anyway, our goal with this series is to simply help financial planners understand what public relations is all about, different strategies to actually employ in their businesses to actually maximize their potential exposure. And then from time to time, we're going to be just talking about other topics and issues that are relevant to PR that we think are going to be of interest to all of you. So this is the first video in our ongoing series here. And so for this one, we wanted to talk about understanding the media today. We think we need to kind of set a little bit of a tone here and kind of help people understand, that the media today is a little bit different than what it was, 10 years ago. It's even different than it was 2 years ago. So Mike, I don't know if you have some initial thoughts on that.
Yeah, the landscape has completely changed, and I like to think about it as media myself because people use the word social media. Digital world has really completely blended in with the traditional PR that you would think, newspapers, magazines, radio, TV. There's all different shapes of media, and some of them are traditional and some are not. So the landscape has completely changed. So you actually were, in preparation for this video, you were given some cool stats. I think that would be cool to share what they are.
Yeah. So Pew Research, they actually do some really cool metrics on different professions. And so I was actually checking it out. For the news media, it shows that on average, the largest news providers online generate about 20 million unique visitors on a monthly basis. Right? But the duration of time that each one of those users actually spends on that news outlet's website is 2 minutes. So there's a lot of people who are going in and trying to digest this, but they're only spending 2 minutes, which lets you know, and this actually goes to something you and I were talking about, Mike, is like, USA Today was kind of ahead of the game.
Yeah.
Years ago when they started, everyone was talking about how USA Today was, changing the way that media was being consumed because everything became more bite-sized and compressed and condensed. It was just an easy thing that people could take a look at, review, and get something out of. Well, that's the digital media today. You can't have these long-form articles and these long-form videos and everything else. Everything is bite-sized, it's condensed to kind of fit people's habits. And I think a lot of that is because of, mobile devices today. Everyone's sitting, it's like my wife. She sits there on her phone at night reading, different news outlets and she's off. So.
Yeah, honestly, we're really this ADD society. I always tell people, you don't have to like the trend of what's happening, but that's what we are. Like, we're, especially on the internet, I think there's over 1 billion websites that might not all be active. So when you're on your phone, like you said, there's a whole bunch of distractions or things pulling you away from that media source, whatever you're looking at. So you have to get to the message. And I like what you said, digestible. I use the marketing lingo of snackable. Like you have to have your content be snackable. And so a credit to the USA Today that kind of saw the trend before it actually really took effect. I think that they were smart to be ahead of the curve. And you see a lot of traditional media still behind the curve on that. I know there's still people that want to sit and not be distracted maybe by their dog or their kid or something and read a newspaper, maybe cover to cover, but that's rare in today's day and age. Wouldn't you agree?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And the format of the media has changed. It's no longer just a written word, but more and more organizations are getting into video content, podcasting. The content is a lot different than it once was. And what's really neat, and one of the things I talk about in our media training that we do at the Financial Planning Association, we talk about how this increase in the digital space has really amplified the amount of opportunity that's out there for financial planners to get their names out there. Because, and look, you and I both have decades of experience in working in public relations, especially in financial services. We both know journalists who 20 years ago may have had to write 1 or 2 articles a week. Right. And I know some, there are some like big columnists who are writing like 1 article a month for the magazine, right? These same journalists are writing 2-3 articles per week. And I actually know some journalists who are writing 2-3 articles per day.
Right.
And it's this whole thing. They're just trying to generate content as quickly as they can. So there's a tremendous amount of opportunity that's out there for financial planners, for financial advisors to be seen and heard. And you've obviously, you actually do a lot of writing as well in the media. So maybe you have some thoughts on what you're seeing in terms of opportunity for planners and advisors.
And I think it's actually this interesting challenge, and we'll talk about it probably more on how to pitch the media in a future video, but the background of it is that now these, let's say a writer for a online newspaper or magazine, whatever you want to call it, has more things to do, more things to churn out. So they need sources more than ever, but at the same time, they're busier than ever. So if you pitch them the wrong way, they're just going to shut you down and never want to talk to you again. So there's really an art to becoming that reliable resource, which I'm sure we'll talk about more in the future. But that's the opportunity, but it's also the risk.
Absolutely. And along with all of that, I think there's a need for advisors and planners to be more comfortable with the different formats of media. You can't just automatically think, okay, I'm just going to contribute to the story and I'm going to have a quote that's going to pop up. What you say could lead to additional forms of content. We were alluding to this idea of video. It's not uncommon for a lot of these online published pieces to have some kind of corresponding video content where, a reporter might call up and say, hey, we want to get you on video for a minute and a half to talk about this. So with the increase in opportunity, there's also an increase in the need for advisors and planners to be, to more perfect their skill set.
Right.
How they communicate. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And it's going to be really exciting as we roll out these videos because there's a lot of change and it's positive change. There's some negative things that are happening, but the opportunity is great for financial planners to really kick butt online and on the traditional media too. So.
Oh, absolutely. And, one of the things, and this is, and we're going to kind of start to segue into some other topics here in the upcoming videos. But, one of the things I always talk about is that everybody has a digital footprint. There's this footprint of you out there on the web. And your goal is to have this footprint tell a positive story about who you are. Every website you go to, every article you appear in, your website, your blog, your social media function, your social media interaction, everything creates this footprint. And you want people to, when they go and they search for you online, to have a positive perception of who you are.
Right.
And that's the beautiful thing about being in the media online. And you should never care about the print publication of the Wall Street Journal. I love the folks at the Wall Street Journal, but being in the print publication is not what's really critical to building your business. It's being in the online content, because that online content lives on forever. The print version of that is going to be lining the litter box next week. So having this opportunity to be in the media, to really kind of expand your visibility, is what's going to help drive some more traffic back to your website, which is something we should definitely be covering at one point in a future video. So anyway. And
my final thought on this video too is kind of about the landscape, is that the interesting things are non-traditional media too. So I think we're going to talk about it at the upcoming annual conference. I'm psyched to be on a marketing panel. We were talking about how it might be great just to be, it depends on your target market, but it might be great to be on the Chamber of Commerce website and write an article there. It might even be better than the Wall Street Journal. A Wall Street Journal carries a lot of weight, but your audience might be actually picking it up in different places. So you need the right mix of national and local and retail and industry press. And I think that's kind of the art of this now, is figuring out your target market and see what will work. And I think we'll talk about that in future videos too. So I'm really excited to do this with you, Ben. Thanks for having me.
No, absolutely. No, this is going to be a lot of fun. And everyone, again, this is the PR Planner with Ben and Mike. And stay tuned for upcoming videos with us. And until next time, enjoy your PR planning.